Hey guys, what's up? This is SLT Demon. Today I am doing a YouTube background tutorial. So the first thing that I did was I downloaded a template right here. You can find them all over YouTube. And what I did was I added a dark gray background. And then I took a brush and made it white and put that just above the layer for the gray background, but not above the layer for the modules, and I just put that so it has sort of an outer glowing effect. Now we'll work on the modules in a second, and up here you may have noticed that I have some optical flares, and to do this optical flare effect you can download some optical flare GFX pack like I did, and they're really great. They had a nice effect. So if you want to get them so that they're clear like this, basically what you have to do, there's a couple ways to do it, but the way that I like to is sometimes this doesn't work for every optical flare. I'm not sure if it's going to work for this one. Oh, sorry. First you want to right click and rasterize your layer. That'll make it so you can edit it, and you want to click on your magic wand tool here. It might be your quick selection, but then just hold it and go to magic wand tool and click here and go to delete, and then click up here and go to delete. And now if you just click this, there you go. It's rough now, but all you need to do is go down to your eraser tool and maybe drop the size a little bit, and then you want to zoom in and just erase, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you get the idea. You know, you erase around, and then if we have it like this, let me just zoom out here. If we get our rectangular marquee tool and just kind of highlight this and Control C, come over here just to show you. Control V, and now if we size this down a little bit, we could if we just erased more. I didn't really erase too much, but you can see on the small parts around this area, if you just have them, it looks not too bad. Right here I would erase more, but it just takes quite some time. It's a long process, but it looks good in the end. I'm just gonna delete that. Okay, so now that you know how to make the flares, we can move back to making your modules look good. So you want to go up here to your modules, and you want to double click them, which will bring up this screen right here, or you could click on your layer, go to layer style, blending options, whatever floats your boat. And what the things we're going to add, we are going to add a drop shadow, an inner shadow, and a stroke and a color overlay. And then I already have mine preset before, and it'll look something like this, which it just looks, I know it looks better. You can see it's kind of coming out at you. It's got this nice outline. So the tutorial for this is, for your drop shadow, you can mess around with the angle. I like 136. It's just what I do. There's a couple things that you can change. First off, you want to make sure that your color is black. I mean, if you had a red color, it would look really weird. You don't want your size too much, or else it'll just bleed all over the place. But you don't want it too little, or else you can barely see it. That's basically all I can give for tips. I really like this contour, but it makes it, the cone contour, the second one, but it just makes it too big, makes it look kind of like it's floating. I just use the linear, and I think that looks pretty good. You can copy my exact settings, and when you first get here, the opacity is going to be lower than 100, and you just want to crank that up to 100. Next you move on to inner shadow, and tell you to be completely honest, it's basically the exact same thing, except the size is a little lower, and you want a lighter color. Other than that, it's the same as the drop shadow. Now to color overlay, right now what I have is kind of a black color, but I think I'm going to change it to light gray, And what this is going to do is change the color of the modules. And now if I crank up the opacity, you can start to see it getting lighter and lighter. And you don't want it too light, but you don't want it black. And I added a little lighting effect right here. And so just enough. I think that looks good. Now the next thing you want to go to is stroke. Now stroke is actually, hang on, let me zoom in here. Stroke is this outline around here. So if we go back into here and go to our stroke, if we uncheck stroke, it makes a big difference. You can really see it makes it pop out a lot. And my rule for this is that you never want the size to go over 4. Otherwise, as you can see, it just kind of, all the lines bleed into each other. You don't want that to happen. Maybe 2. Maybe you could get away with using 2. But just for this, I'm just going to use 1. Make sure your blend mode's on normal. If you have it on anything like, let's say overlay, or maybe screen, you'll come out with a different effect. Just go to normal. You don't want your color to be black. You want it to be lighter. Well, you don't have to make it lighter, but you want it to be lighter than your than whatever color your modules are. And now we're just gonna check that and zoom back out here. And then we're just going to place our optical flares. And as you can see, what I did here is the point of where the light starts, that dot, I've flipped them so that the upper modules have ones that are up top and the lower modules have ones that are on the bottom. And I don't like them to be exactly even. I just think it looks weird, so just personal opinion. And so since this one is high, I'm going to make it lower on the module for the bottom section and higher here. And actually the Photoshop kind of will help you. It kind of auto locks it in a little bit, but that is actually, you know what, let me raise this one up. Where is this one? Is it this one? Yeah, I just want to raise that up a little bit. And that is looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into Cinema 4D and I'm going to show you how to make some text, add maybe a logo up here, but mainly just add some text on the side here. It's going to look really nice. Okay guys, we're back. Now we are in Cinema 4D. Today we are going to make some text to go right on the side of our Photoshop document right here. And so what you want to start out to do is go to your MoGraph, MoText. I just want to rotate it around, maybe move it so that it's centered. Okay, that looks fine. Actually, you know what? Let me drop it down a little bit here. Okay, and we're just going to do tutorial, just like that. And we're going to change our font, Batman Forever. It's my favorite font. It looks really cool. Trust me, your whole project will be ruined if you don't have a good font. So I'm just going to size this down so that it will fit into our right there, so that it'll fit into our screen. And I'm going to go to caps and add a fillet cap so that it makes it so that it's kind of got this chiseled out effect on the corners, if you can see that. And we're just going to change the horizontal spacing right here, and we're just going to move that up a little bit, not too much. And there we go. And you don't want to do you don't want to make it too complicated, just because it's going on the side. It's not like an intro or anything. If you want to know how to do this thing that I'm doing right now, you just click on your scroll wheel and it'll bring up this, and then to go back into any view you want, you just re-click on the scroll wheel. And then, okay, I just added a light right there. And now we're going to go into our materials, and we are going to make another material. And since on this Photoshop these optical flares have kind of a bluish hue to them, we're going to make them the colors sort of like that. So we're just going to do this color right here. You want to uncheck specular, you want to check reflection, you want to go over to your texture and do Fresnel, drop the mix strength and drop the brightness, so we have this kind of a color here. Now you want to double click again to make another color, and do a little bit of darker gray